Good morning. I hope everyone at home and in the sanctuary is having a wonderful start to the day. That being said, can we take a moment and say hello to everyone watching online? Good morning. My name is Rob Bray. I'm a board member here at Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, and I would like to welcome you on behalf of the board and program council. You are welcome here, whoever you are, wherever you are from, and wherever you are on your journey. I just wanted to take a brief moment and share an email I received last night from the UUA, strongly condemning yesterday's shooting. It had a couple of really good words of wisdom that helped me, and hopefully it can help all of us kind of process what's going on and moving forward. It says, Unitarian Universalism believes in the right of free speech and the democratic process. Attacks like those at Saturday's political rally weaken democracy, and the Unitarian Universalist Association condemns this attack. At a time when democracy is already at risk, these events will only make our political environment more precarious. As we meet this moment, we must return to our spiritual grounding and faithful practice. This helped me. Take a deep breath, reflect together, wait for emerging truth over quick speculation. Anchor yourself in communities and relationships that foster resilience, liberation, and strategy. Cultivate nuance and seek out deep wisdom, political analysis, and spiritual grounding, as misinformation will be rampant. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition is rooted in the values of human dignity, justice, compassion, and democratic principles. We will remain vigilant in our commitment to protecting our democracy and the integrity its principles and the rights of all its people believe in. Let us keep love at the center. If you would like more information about TVUUC, please fill out the visitor information card found in the seat back or the pocket in the pew in front of you and place it in the collection baskets at the edge of the railings after the service. For those of you viewing online, you can go to the church website, tvuuc.org, and on the menu, select Stay in Touch, and you can fill out a virtual visitor card. If you or your family are interested in programs for children or youth, please visit our RE table located in the lobby, and the church website also has updated information about this year's program and events, as well as resources for families. Miriam Davis is there today to help answer any questions that you might have. Today is a Share the Plate offering, so I will let Claudia explain a couple of ways to give.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here at TVUC. As Rob just said, today is a Share the Plate offering Sunday. What that means is that any pledge that is, or any contribution that is not marked as a pledge will be split between our organization today, which is Bryant's Bridge, and the operating fund of TVUC. So we encourage you to give generously. There's a number of ways that you can give. If you're here in the sanctuary, there are offering baskets. As you leave, you can place checks and cash in there. If you'd like to use a credit or a debit card, there is a giving kiosk out in the lobby. You can also text give to the number 73256. Type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. Or if you're watching online, you can find a Give or Give Now button. You can press that, and that will go to our secure giving site. So once again, today's organization is Bryant's Bridge. Lynn Hickson will be coming in just a few minutes to give us a little more information about that. Thank you so much.
As always, please join us for fellowship, for coffee and conversations in the fellowship hall, and of course the beautiful outdoor patio on a gorgeous morning and afternoon like this. And now please silence your electronic devices as we enter into worship.
We've cleared off the table, leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away.
I've told you a story, tucked you in tie, at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep, over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. Oh, you can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. There are girls who grow up strong and bold, there are boys quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some follow behind, some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men, some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they'll give the same back to you. Oh, you can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done.
Good morning, and welcome to today's service on joyful embodiment. For our opening words this morning, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to really get into our bodies this morning. Are any of us not already in our bodies? No. But I'm going to invite you to indulge me in a exercise, a movement, a chant. It's going to be a call and response. So I'm going to say some words and make some movements, and I invite you to then respond with the same. You can stay right in your seat if you would like. You can jump up. You can come forward. So, you see this hand? You're going to respond the same thing. All right, ready? Let's try it again. I didn't explain that well. You see this hand? This is my hand. This isn't your hand. This is my hand. Mine, all mine. You see these shoulders? These are my shoulders. These aren't your shoulders. These are my shoulders. Mine, all mine. You see these knees? These are my knees. They aren't your knees. These are my knees. Mine, all mine. You see these toes? These are my toes. They're not your toes. These are my toes. Mine, all mine. You see this body? This is my body. It's not your body. This is my body. Mine, all mine. Come, let us worship together and share in our chalice lighting song. Please join in singing hymn number 346 in the gray hymnal, Come Sing a Song with Me, number 346.
We'll sing verse 1, then verse 2, then verse 1 again.
Good morning. My name is Miriam Davis, and we have a responsive reading this morning. It is number 657 in your gray hymnal, but I have some special instructions for this responsive reading. Every time we say some beliefs, we are going to add the words about our bodies and what we do with them before the rest of the sentence. Okay? About our bodies and what we do with them. So we say some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them. So I'll read the first lines, and I invite the congregation to read aloud the lines in italics. Some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Other beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are expansive and lead the way into wider and deeper sympathies. Some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Other beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are like sunshine, blessing children with the warmth of happiness. Some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Other beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are bonds in the world community, where sincere differences unify the pattern. Some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Other beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are like gateways, opening wide vistas for exploration. Some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Other beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal worth. Some beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. Other beliefs about our bodies and what we do with them are pliable, like the young sapling, ever growing with the upward thrust of life.
Good morning. My name is Mebby Jackson, and I'm a member of the spiritual care team. We are a group of heart-centered, deep listeners who help with the caring needs of the congregation. We can be reached by the phone number that's printed in your order of service, and it is also published on the website. And today is also one of the days in which we offer listening booths, one of our services for the church. So after the service, if you look in the hallway towards the religious education wing, there should be tables and chairs set up, and Tina Becker and Matt Malfi will be there to listen to any concerns you might have in true confidential manner. And we share these joys and concerns weekly, and our best resource is you. So if you are in need or know someone who needs our support, please let us know. Today we have some sad news from Wimberly Thompson, whose 84-year-old mother passed unexpectedly 2 weeks ago today. The memorial service will be held this coming Saturday. Emily Warfield Thompson lived in a retirement community in Gainesville, Georgia, and helped a group of Unitarian Universalists within that community meet periodically to hear and watch sermons and discuss them. Wimberly says her mother was a late comer to the Unitarian Universalism, but embodied the faith's values and principles long before she knew of them. Our hearts go out to Wimberly and her daughter, Emma. And David Massey recently returned from Gainesville, Georgia, where he attended the memorial service for his Uncle Abit. Uncle Abit passed at the age of 96 on June 14th. David says his uncle had a gift not only for remembering people's names, but connecting people together and making their lives more rich. And Casey Clark arrived in Los Angeles on Tuesday to help her son, who had experienced a tragic motorcycle accident the week before. And he is home now, according to her, has an appointment with an orthopedic specialist on Tuesday where he will learn more about his treatment plan. And Zach is feeling a little bit better in body, mind, and spirit after this experience. And Casey is feeling much better in her heart, body, mind, and spirit as well. So let's continue to send healing prayers to them as they go through this healing journey towards wholeness. And we have some information from AB, who went to Vanderbilt last week to do his regular heart transplant checkup, and they found blockages and he needed 3 stents. So he had been in the hospital then for 3 days and has been released into Denise's care. And AB said after 22 years, his goal is to set a new Vanderbilt record. So Denise says AB would have loved to have been at church today, but she said no. So we send our love to AB and Denise. And Trish Adams would like to share that they had a joyful celebration of Chance's 8th birthday yesterday. In addition to Chance being fully celebrated for making it another time around the sun, she feels so uplifted by this beautiful, loving community. In this season of life where loneliness and isolation are as formidable as Chance's brain cancer, a day of being held up so fully by my community, I could just crowd surf my way through the day was an amazing reprieve. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was just what I needed to soldier on as we head back into the front lines. We send love to Chance as he returns to St. Jude for additional care this week, followed by an inpatient rehab. And I have a concern as well. I experienced a couple of losses this week. I lost my dear cat Tipsy to abdominal cancer on Monday, and my stepfather, Terrence Neal Fales Sr., passed on Friday evening from complications of dementia and a terrible fall that he experienced earlier in the year. He lived at the Richland Rehab Center of Richland Place, a retirement community in Nashville, Tennessee. My mother predeceased him in 2001, and his ashes will be interred next to her in Highland Memorial Cemetery. And my stepbrothers, his sons, Terrence and Garth, will be here to assist with that service. And John Coffey will not be attending this service today or participating in giving this service today, as he is attending a family matter. And he asks us to keep him and his family in the light as he goes through this experience. So with these joys and concerns, both spoken and unspoken, we ask you to sing with us, Sending You Light.
The words of our spoken prayer today come from Reverend Allie K.C. Bell. It is now that we practice our values. In the face of fear, we breathe, pause, and remember that each of us needs each of us. It is here that we remember our roots and wings. We are rooted in love, and we soar high in our beliefs of all human worthiness. Let us pause, assess, and remember who we are in this moment. We are a loving, justice-seeking people who believe in liberation for all. May you find your center in the face of uncertainty and fear. Love is at the center. Now we will have a few moments of silence. As we know, silence is never silent. We welcome the sounds of life among us as we take some moments for reflection. I invite you to return to this larger circle of community with hymn number 1007 in the teal hymnal, There's a River Flowing in My Soul, 1007.
There is Something I Don't Know by R.D. Laing. There is something I don't know that I'm supposed to know. I don't know what it is I don't know, and yet am supposed to know. And I feel I look stupid if I seem both not to know and not to know what it is I don't know. Therefore, I pretend I know it. This is nerve-wracking, since I don't know what I must pretend to know. Therefore, I pretend to know everything. I feel you know what I'm supposed to know. but you can't tell me what it is because you don't know what I don't know what it is. You may know what I don't know, but not that I don't know it. And I can't tell you. So you will have to tell me everything.
Good morning again. I'm Miriam Davis. And instead of a reflection from John Coffey today, we are getting an excerpt of a reading from When Sex is the Subject by Pamela Wilson. And I also just want to say that I am a member of our OWL facilitation team. I'm trained in the kindergarten through 9th grade levels, and I have facilitated that here with members of our team, with Kendra, who just gave that great reading, and Devon, and Catherine, and John, and others. And I'm a parent of an OWL graduate, and it is a wonderful program, and I encourage you all to support it and learn more about it. Michael Carrera, national renowned author, educator, and trainer, talks about the need to keep a broad definition of sexuality in front of you all the time. Dr. Carrera believes that society has performed a sexectomy on the true nature of human sexuality by narrowing the focus to include little more than genital sex. He stresses that the words we use to educate children about sexuality are not nearly as important as the music we play. In other words, it is not so much what we say as how we say it that provides children with healthy messages about sexuality. A colleague of mine, Wayne Pulowski, compares educating children about sexuality with attending a Broadway musical. When you go to a musical and you really like it, you often leave the show humming the melody of a favorite song. People rarely sing the lyrics because they can't remember them. The same can be true in sex education. When we talk with children about sexuality, they may not remember many of our actual words, but they will remember the tone of the conversation and the feelings engendered during the discussion. If the attitudes conveyed are positive, children will remember that their questions are always accepted. They will remember hearing that their emotions and concerns were normal. They will remember the positive messages about the human body and the need for caring touch among all human beings. Children will adopt with increasing comfort the language their parents and teachers use when they discuss sexuality with them in an open and unembarrassed manner. More and more clearly, they will hear and appreciate the music we play. This is my body, mine, all mine. No, sorry. That was the end of the reading. My apologies.
Wasn't clear.
Good morning. As as Claudia said earlier, this is a Share the Plate Sunday, and today is Bryant's Bridge. There are offering baskets on the railing as you exit for cash donations, and if you're watching online, you can try scanning this if you're watching on your TV or your phone. We're not on your phone because then you won't be able to scan it, but you know what I mean. Bryant's Bridge intends to provide affordable housing and a safe space for LGBTQ youth to prevent homelessness and promote growth in the areas of education, employment, health, and mental health, to develop strength of character and promote healing and independence in a world where societal structures create obstacles and hinder support systems necessary to adequately navigate the transition from youth to adulthood. They house LGBTQ youth ages 17 to 24, and their main objectives are to provide leadership, collaboration, and civic engagement, to challenge youth homelessness in Knoxville, to support youth as they build life skills, further their education, and gain employment, to improve mental, physical health and stability, to create a strong network of partnerships that build and enhance the community. Their mission statement is, Bryant's-Bridge intends to provide affordable housing and a safe space to prevent homelessness and promote the successful transition from youth to adulthood. And their vision statement is, Bryant's-Bridge envisions a world where all youth have access to full acceptance, safety, honor, and understanding of self and freedom to develop into the individuals they are meant to be. So I invite you to please give generously to this great organization. Thank you.
I was introduced to OWL in 2014 when my eldest daughter went through the program. Like many parents who spent their own formative years in the public school system of East Tennessee, I thought it was way cool, and I wish that my own mom had known about the program whenever I was a kid. As a queer parent with somewhat radical ideas about gender and relationships and sexuality, I'd been interested in an opportunity to become certified as a facilitator in this incredible program. And in 2022, I finally got my chance. Of the many reflections, readings, interviews, and webinars that I devoured during my certification process, there was a specific piece that completely reframed my approach to the facilitation of this program. It was an episode of the Lady Preacher podcast that featured guest Amy Johnson of the United Church of Christ. Amy Johnson is a minister of sexuality, education, and justice. She is also a trainer of all levels of the OWL program. Now, I was raised by a witchy neo-pagan mom and had a better understanding of calling the corners than being in communion with God. To this day, everything I know about the Bible I learned from teaching the Babylonian curriculum to 4th and 5th grade RE classes in this very church. Needless to say, I wasn't exactly familiar with the concept of ministry. But on this podcast, Amy described this ministry of sexuality education as being a call to justice of inclusivity and dismantling shame and stigma. And this concept really resonated with me. I started to see the work of OWL facilitation as a type of shared ministry where we work together to bring out the best in each other, to serve the larger community, to create and hold safe and sacred space for others. And my mindset shifted. OWL was an important vehicle for delivering honest and accurate information, but it was also intensely spiritual and holy work. It is holy to empower young people through understanding and acceptance of their own bodies. It is holy to dismantle shame and stigma. It is holy to honor the emotions, feelings, and questions of others. It is holy to ask for and use preferred pronouns. It is holy to understand consent. It is holy to give young people definitions, resources, and tools. It is holy to learn about relationships, decisions, and responsibility. It is holy when someone sees themselves truly represented for the very first time. And yes, it is even holy when the youth make condom balloons and playfully bat them down the RE hallway. I am humbled and honored to have answered the call of the Ministry of Sexuality Education. There is so much work to do. And I fear that as the political climate continues to shift the way that it has, there will be even more work to do. But our children are depending on us. And I will roll up my sleeves. I will create safe spaces. And I will continue to fight for inclusivity, justice, and freedom from stigma and shame. Thank you.
This is my body. Mine, all mine. And it's pretty great to have a body. How many of us think it's pretty great to have a body? As my friend and fellow UU educator C.B. Beal says, bodies are awesome. Everyone should get one. Wait. We are in our bodies all the time. But how many times have we gotten messages about our bodies that tell us that they are something to be embarrassed about, or something that needs to be changed, or something that needs to be fought against, or hidden, or apologized for, or sacrificed, or controlled? Or that we are broken, or less than, or ruined in some way because of our bodies? Those messages are the water we swim in at times, aren't they? These messages about bodies and the ways that we use them and the way they inform our identities and choices How many times a day do you think we are given messages, explicit or implicit, about the way someone's body informs how valuable or worthy of respect or admiration or autonomy they are? My Unitarian Universalist faith says something different. My faith says that our bodies are good, that all bodies are good. Our bodies are the medium through which we experience the world and all of its richness and complexity. The spiritual is inherent in the physical, not separate from it. Now, I was a relatively quiet 8th grader when I participated in the About Your Sexuality program, which was the predecessor to the current Our Whole Lives program at my UU church in Cleveland in around 1990. I was often uncomfortable. I was pretty quiet. I wouldn't have said at the time that I enjoyed it, but I was listening and taking in more than perhaps I even realized. I had already taken in many messages in other places about bodies and sexuality and what it all meant before I got to that class. I began receiving messages that I recall at about 8 years old from people around me, peers at school, sometimes teachers, that my body was not the way it was supposed to be. Primarily, I was too big. When kids gave me those messages at school, I don't have any recollection of any adult ever intervening and telling them that that wasn't okay. And sometimes the hurtful words were coming directly from my teachers and coaches. And I was a pretty fast learner. And I learned that an inverse proportional rule for calculating worth pound by pound was in effect at school. Being bigger than meant that I was worth less than the other kids. And this message was supported by a lot of what I saw in the media too, right? Girls who had bodies that were shaped more like mine were not portrayed as strong, as attractive, as valuable. It was pretty pervasive. And the hurt's still there all those years later, right? It leaves a mark. But somehow, I was still able to develop a strong sense of self-worth and confidence in making choices about my body and the way I would relate to others. And I truly believe that that was possible because of the UU values-laden sexuality education I received at church and from my parents. Thanks to them, I was able to reach beyond the negative messages about my body and about my sexuality and my worth that surrounded me at school and when I turned on the TV, and I learned even more indelibly that bodies are good, even my body, and that physicality is a natural and beautiful aspect of being human for every person, not just those who are slender, not just those who are pretty or popular, not just those whose gender expression and sexual identity fit society's assumed norms, imposed norms in some cases. I was lucky. I was really lucky because some young people are never taught anything that counters the negative messages they receive about their bodies, their identities, or their sexuality. Religious educator and author Maria Harris said that there are 3 kinds of curricula. Explicit curricula, which is what we intentionally teach. Implicit curricula, what is learned from the patterns and structures that surround the explicit curricula. And null curricula, what is learned from the things that we don't see because they are missing. We all received some form of sexuality education from our parents, from our schools, from our religious communities, from the media, from our peers. But if we did not have people in our lives, parents or teachers or even peers, who are willing to talk directly with us about sexuality, most of what we learned came from the implicit and null curriculum. in our homes, in our schools, and in the world around us. So I'd like to take a moment now to invite you to take part in a small activity from the parent orientation we offer to one of the levels of our hour program. I'd like to invite you to think, I'm not going to ask you to say this aloud, but to just think for a moment about the explicit, implicit, and null sexuality education you received in your youth. What messages did you receive about your own body? About touch and the need for human affection? About gender roles and how people were expected to behave based on their assigned gender? What messages did you receive about loving and intimate relationships? About dating and sexual attraction? About when it was okay to engage in sexual behavior? And I want to invite you to think again, if you could sum up in one phrase what the primary message you received about bodies or sexuality in your youth was, what would it be? And now I want to invite us to turn it around. Instead of looking backwards, I want to ask you, what message about sexuality and about being a person in a body do you want young people today to receive? And this time, if you think of what message we want our young people to receive, I am going to invite you to call it aloud. What messages do we want young people to receive about their bodies and about sexuality? Love, respect. It's normal. You are okay. We know what messages we want young people to receive. They're the messages that we need too, right? Not just when we were kids. In this community, we offer comprehensive sexuality education to young people to give them positive messages about who they are, and so that when they are faced with making choices about how they will relate to and connect with other human bodies, they have already thoughtfully considered their own values, what they're ready for, and how to be a responsible and respectful partner when they decide it's time. And we educate not only our own youth, but their peers too. Sometimes directly, when friends of our kids enroll in our OWL classes, but I've also heard over and over again from parents that after taking the Our Whole Lives classes, their children have become known among their peers as the go-to people for honest, accurate, non-shaming information about sexuality. We are educating beyond our own walls. The Our Whole Lives program is grounded in 4 key values: self-worth, responsibility, sexual health, and justice and inclusivity. And this past year, we ran OWL for 7th to 9th graders and had a crop who graduated in the spring. And this coming year, we'll be offering OWL for 4th and 5th graders in the fall, and kindergarten and 1st graders in the spring. And each level is developmentally appropriate, comprehensive. I think it is perhaps the very best thing we do for young people in this community. How would our lives be different if from the moment of our birth, the messages we received were that our bodies are wonderful, that all of our bodies, all of them, are beautiful and worthy, that they are our bodies to make choices for, that our bodies are here for our enjoyment and for helping us make meaning in the world, that every experience of being in a body is a unique and unspeakably precious expression of humanity that has something of great value to teach the rest of us about what it means to be embodied. How would your life be different? And how can we build that for our children and for ourselves and for the communities that we create together? How can we change the message? Now, this is not just about programs like OWL, though OWL is super important and meaningful and fun, but there's more. You are part of the message about what our bodies are for and how they are valued. And every interaction you have with one of our children or with another adult in this community, and in every message you give yourself when you are looking in the mirror, when you are thinking about what your body can do and what it cannot do, when you are thinking about what it feels and looks like. Yes, my friends, we talk about sex at church. We talk about sex and sexuality and bodies at church because no matter what age or stage of life we are in, our Unitarian Universalist faith and values can guide us in forming healthy, mature, and joyful relationships with our own bodies and other people's bodies too. This is my body, mine, all mine, and bodies are awesome. Thank you. I invite you to join in our closing hymn, This Joy.
So there are no words in your order of service because you don't need them. We will share that with you. So join us as we sing This Joy That I Have. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world
Prophetic Church, the world awaits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love. Proclaim the truth that makes us free. As our last act of worship, I invite you to greet your neighbor. Our worship is ended. Our service begins.